any chance for us to reclaim POK? It won't happen right now. It doesn't look like it. Unless something extraordinary happens, right now POK is not happening. Okay. Why doesn't India take SU-57 deal of Make in India until AMC is completed? So we have multiple options. Donald Trump wants us to buy the F-35s. I think it's a very bad idea. The F-35 is a flying Coke can. It's not good at all. Okay, it has some stealth capabilities. It's whatever, but if you buy it, it gives America a tremendous amount of leverage over you. It gives them that kill switch advantage, which they also have with the F-16. They didn't use it. The Americans have kill switches in all their military equipment. They can remotely disable equipment. I have proof of this. I have demonstrated this, that this is a historical precedent. See, in the 1980s, the Australians purchased FA-18 fighter planes, Super Hornets or whatever it was, from the Americans. Who bought it? The Australians. Australia is a US vassal. Australia is part of the Five Eyes coalition. Australia is a US protectorate, US owned nation. Okay? So the US sold a bunch of F-18s to the Australians. The Australians take the delivery, then they take the aircraft for a spin, and then they say let's test out the aircraft's capabilities. So they'll try to lock on the target acquisition system to various targets, and they find that the target acquisition system of the F-18s refuses to lock onto to a bunch of targets. It will lock onto only pre-selected targets that the Americans have selected. So if there is some target the Australians want it to lock into, it would not allow the aircraft to do it. The aircraft was useless. It took them more than 20 years to change the source code, to hack into the source code and make the aircraft do what they wanted. Right? And there's more capabilities like that. So the Americans in the 80s had the ability to cripple aircraft and make them useless. So and the Americans have been maintaining the F-16s of the Pakistanis, right? So if and the Americans claim that they have sold F-16s to Pakistan to be used in anti-terror activities. So in that case, if that is the case, when the Pakistanis try to use F-16s against India, like they did in 2019 Balakot and like they did last 3 days, then why are the F-16s able to lock onto Indian targets? Why? Why aren't the F-16s prevented from locking onto Indian targets? It's because the Americans are lying. They knew full well that the F-16s they were only intended for being used against India, and that's why they sold them to Pakistan. See, that's how it goes. Now, when you have a nation like that, who has the ability to cripple aircraft and cripple military equipment remotely, then can you afford to buy that aircraft? Essentially, let me give you a very simple, straightforward example you can all understand. Every morning, if you have an F-35, when you start the engine, you will need an OTP. You will need an OTP from the Americans. Only after you enter the OTP can you start the plane. But before you enter the OTP, before you get the OTP, you have to give your full flight plan for the day. And only after they examine the flight plan and they approve it, will you get the OTP. And let's say you try to divert from the flight plan, the plane won't allow you to do that. So then what's the point of having the F-35? Tell me. They will have kill switches, they will have back doors, they will have all kinds of stuff. And even if you still want to buy it, you have to sign multiple agreements that open up your airspace and your electronic environment to American surveillance and all kinds of stuff. You essentially lose sovereignty. You lose your sovereignty if you buy the F-35. So I don't think it's a good idea to buy the F-35. Sukhoi 57, I'm not sure what the deal is. I'm sure it's a good aircraft. What are the Russians offering? Are they offering the full transfer of technology? Are they offering us to the ability to manufacture the Sukhoi 57 in India? Will they allow us to set up a manufacturing plant or multiple manufacturing plants in India? If that is the case, then maybe it's a good idea. The Sukhoi 57 seems to be a good aircraft. So if that's the case, then maybe if it If it is suitable for our requirements, that is for the Air Force to decide. It's for them to decide. If it is found to be suitable, then maybe it makes sense to set up manufacturing plants in India. Not assembly plants, but manufacturing plants. There's a huge difference between manufacturing and assembly. Assembling means they are manufactured somewhere else, but you put it together in India. You get a kit from Russia and you put it all together. You only use screwdrivers and all that to assemble everything. We don't want that. We want full, complete end-to-end manufacturing of everything in India. If that is the case, then we can do it. So let's see. Maybe we can manufacture 100, 200 of these, and as long as the price is reasonable. So let's see. I think the government will have to look into this.